That was like brilliant. It's like in perfect.
That was perfect too. Let me cut the VOD. Okay, continue.
So, Gogo was able to actually successfully land the ship despite the power surge. But there's a lot of power being fed through this power plant. At that point, actually zooming out and showing the further pieces of the map and where all the lights are beginning to come on, and
Right.
the different areas of settlement that we've actually established, and actually showing Oscar the parts that with the nav comp he was able to actually explore more thoroughly, so we can have a more complete topological map.
Cool. Yeah, and shining like a beacon in the plant is the governmental complex, right? Like that large, heavily fortified plasteel building that exists in the center of town, basically.
Right, and then going further on to explain, through a great deal of my studies, I was able to actually disseminate the information to find out that a lot of fortification resources are being used in order to stabilize these particular sections and areas. But it looks like there's still some information I'm going to have to break down more towards the complex sciences. But I can tell you that they at least have a lot of firmware and infrastructure in place, especially around the power plant, but it lessens when it starts moving away from that area. So I think there's probably more to it than just being a power plant.
Reverse.
Especially,
it's
reverse it.
More heavily like constructed buildings farther away from the power plant, and less like physical. What do you call it? Less physical countermeasures closer to the power plant for stuff like earthquakes.
Right. That I said the exact opposite of what I meant.
Yes, you did. Yeah, it's fine. Probably in character. It's fine.
Yeah, so everyone would see Boomer just have that moment of like, oh, wait, okay, so what I said, but the opposite. And
Right.
Where's my flask?
Exactly. You're running a little dry.
It's been a long day.
It has been a long day for you guys.
It's a little frazzled from seeing somebody get shot.
Actually, I feel like you'd be more frazzled not seeing it happen, right? Because remember, they didn't see it.
Yeah, true. So
All they
only
heard
what
was
going on.
lady scream, gunshot, 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 silence, back to business. Like
2 gunshots, back to business.
right, yeah, that feels probably like more unsettling than like watching what you guys watched.
Yeah. Because at least we know why he got shot.
Right, you guys like, and I'm sure that information is shared as well. Right?
Has been shared. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
As far as how our mission is coming along, I think we have at least 90% of what we need to get back to Natalia.
Yeah, because she just asked for if this side of the world has been experiencing earthquakes, and from what we can tell, it hasn't. Right?
Right, because all of these
Right, because
like TL 1.5
this whole place would be leveled if there were earthquakes.
ramshackle.
Right.
They would not be upright if
Correct.
this region was. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Ostensibly,
in that
you could have gone back the second you landed, but there were other interesting things to explore.
Mostly Wong. But yeah.
Mostly Wong.
But now that we're here and we know there is a really interesting power plant, I'd like to know what that is. Because if we could say they're not having earthquakes and they're causing the earthquakes on your side, she may give us more money.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, Oscar, he nods to that. He says, she would certainly be appreciative if we, yes, handing her the solution on a silver platter would put us in her good graces.
Cool.
But
I
we
also
go tonight?
Might as well before people start
Well,
realizing that there's guests poking around their city.
Oscar, when you were driving around, how close were you actually able to get, or did you?
Yeah, true. Once they give you the location, I mean, you've got a record of all where you went, right? Because of the survey scanner.
I mean, you tell me. I feel like Oscar just drove in concentric circles around.
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah, so
he doesn't.
The
Oscar
farthest
has
outlier...
no idea where the hell he drove to.
You probably hit
I feel like you might have saw it, though.
hit
Isn't
this
thing
line
like
right
ridiculous?
here. Like
Okay,
this,
sure.
this
So-
line right
so-
here. And I think that, Oscar, perhaps as you were driving by that, this path that leads up to it here, like this here, was behind a military blockade. Like, you saw,
Okay.
security fencing along the roadway here, and there was a checkpoint. So you can probably see the power plant behind it, but ostensibly, like, you guys could circumvent anything if you wanted to. You have a ship.
Yeah. So his spidey senses went off, even if he didn't necessarily
Yeah,
know what
you
that
probably
compound was.
you probably were like, oh wait, that was in the southwest. When I was in the southwest, I also saw a security checkpoint, a little ways out from where that is, etc.
Yeah, sure. So Oscar would probably piece that together and say that facility is under heavy military guard. We may want to make this our last stop, if you catch me. Like, perhaps we should get the ship.
At you saying get the ship, Margot perks up.
She's like, oh, absolutely, yes. Let's get the ship.
Is there a way to beam people aboard said ship?
Nope.
There's a way
Straight up
for
Star Trek
Oscar
is
to
what's
beam aboard the
happening.
ship. But,
If it's
that is true.
10 feet or 10 meters off the ground.
well, you don't have to land. You could pick him up off the top of it.
True.
Well, this thing emits some sort of thing that messes with the ship, so I don't know how close she could get.
Oh, right.
Right.
This is definitely just Jordan baiting us into suicide.
I would never do that. That's boring.
Honestly, if
We're
you didn't
so
see that
willingly
before
walking
now,
into it, though. Come on.
Can't find a weak-
Oscar just looks out the window longingly at the taxi.
You could just take the taxi and ram right through that security checkpoint.
Wait, did Wong take his taxi, though? I assume he took his stuff and left. He wouldn't leave his taxi with you.
The taxi was definitely outside when you guys got back.
Wong's
So he
still in
may
the
be-
area.
He may be in line still getting food or enjoying his food at somewhere close.
He's probably still got 48 credits, so
Buys a lot of rice wine.
right? He's probably still on a
Sake goes pretty far.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So just out of character as a group, what do we want to do here?
I think
Do we?
should get as close as we can to the government complex and as close as we can to the power plant and do as much surveillance as possible from there. If we find a weak link in, I would say the power plant, we probably won't find a weak link in the government complex. Maybe try to get in closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like the government complex is I don't know. I don't know how much
It
we'd
sounds
actually
like-
be able to.
That was not anything right, and especially
Sounds like
because
trying to get into the Pentagon. It's not
Right. And
happening.
is that really the information we need, per se?
exactly that has the government complex, unless there is an earthquake generator within it, has nothing to do
You never know,
with,
but.
with the mission. Right, and my suspicion is we will not be able to determine that regardless.
Of course.
However, if we go and take a swing down by the power plant, we might be able to assess something, and we're going to drive there because Jordan wants us to kill ourselves out of stupidity. So,
Well, also, I'm also thinking that they probably don't allow anybody from the Shushu Alliance onto this side of the planet. So they probably have no idea what any of these cities look like anymore. So if we can bring back, they've got this gigantic government complex, and this is what's inside it, which we obviously won't be able to do, that would be very valuable information to them as well.
but right now, between the survey kit and the nav comp that we've used to drive around the city, don't we already have a topographical, pretty much map of
you
the
could-
cities?
Yeah,
We
you
have
could
the city mapped out, but we don't know what's inside. We can say there's buildings, but we don't know what's inside those buildings.
yeah. Well, the other
And
thing,
that's more what I'm thinking.
But
Yeah, they
speaking
had a
from a
thought.
realistic point of view, I mean, we're not going to get in and at any point of the government complex.
Well, yeah, absolutely, but
Gogo might have been able to.
right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
where
Follow
where
that
does
back.
one apply for work? We never did. We're still here in good standing under the guise that we're Westwind Corp looking for work. What happens if we just roll up on that complex trying to look for a job? Maybe it's like the DMV. Maybe you just go there and like
That's actually a
There's
really good point.
maybe in title it sounds menacing, but what's the worst they're gonna do? Turn us away? We can always
That's
play.
what I'm saying. Just play dumb, like, oh, I'm sorry, we're just trying to find work, and then go away.
Yeah, play the stupid tourist card and hope that we don't get sent to a camp.
Okay, I'm completely down for it. I would still like to have the nav comp and survey kits running, preferably on a wired and shielded connection to my
we should
data comp. That way, so we can at
absolutely
least.
have as much incriminating equipment as possible when we go to the government complex, running and linked to your. I'm messing with. Yeah, sure, that's fine.
To be fair, I could just connect it all by wire. Just put it in my backpack. It's not that
Yeah,
obvious.
Why don't you just bring that 56K modem with you with a Cat 4 cable running all the way back to the Chung Ho Hotel while you're at it?
I wonder where these guys are staying.
Oh my god, just like a big spool of cable
Yep.
feeding
Just
out
strapped
from
to
the
your back as it just winds out all the way back to the hotel. Yeah.
I made Boomer with the idea that he'll be a technical genius. Now we've just turned him into like a jackass.
I'm actually just turning you into MacGyver by making you exist in low-tech environments.
Yeah.
He's doing a good job with what he has at hand. It's cool.
Cool. So your suspicion, I'll just clear this up already. Your suspicion about going to government complex looking for work is a totally valid one, because how else would one pick up a government contract for hauling goods?
Yeah,
Like-
the people in the food line probably aren't going to give it to us.
Right, yeah. So, like, your options for work are find a corporation that needs something hauled, or contact the government in some way and find something that needs hauled. Because
I mean, in a practical sense, there might even be actual money to be made here
Right.
on the side.
they
while
could
we're working
legitimately
for it.
sign you a contract and be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, like we could actually do the thing that we're just saying we want.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
Our cover could actually be a money-making opportunity.
Yep. It's the beauty of it.
Oscar does need that assault suit, so
And I think Gogo still needs a
Rocket launcher.
rocket launcher.
Because even though this group is really militaristic, none of them had a rocket launcher.
That is true.
we can't
No one
afford
will
that
go for
shit.
that.
Okay, so Oscar, we've all been talking about this, and I think Oscar just says, well, do we I suppose it stands to reason that we go to the complex first to build up our cover story in case things go south.
No, I agree.
I think it might be a little late to go to the government complex today, but we could always do.
Well, I don't know. Can
We
we?
could always do reconnaissance.
It's on the way. We drive past it on the way to go to the.
I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, a couple of business people showing up at this time probably isn't going to net you much. It'd be better if you went like during actual business hours, because like ostensibly, if you're going to pick up
hours for
right, exactly. If you're going to pick up work from the government, if you've never worked for the government before, they're very strict about their bankers' hours. Like, you come at 5:01, you ain't getting in there.
the door is already locked.
You could probably there's definitely somebody there probably 24 hours, but they'll be like, all right, well, here's your ticket for tomorrow to come stand in line. Like, that's kind of the situation you're in, I think. So
Fair.
if you go to the power plant and get caught, then you're not going to be able to do the complex, probably. But if you go to the power plant and everything's fine, then you can just do the complex
Well-
tomorrow
I'm not
at
trying
your
to do
leisure.
anything crazy at the power plant yet.
We're also not really in any particular rush,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Like, if we wait till morning, it's not like we're just bleeding money.
Right.
No, I mean the amount of
Yeah.
information we've just gotten today was like
Yeah.
the whole mission, right? So
Yeah.
Like, we-
Yeah,
upsetting.
we could
anything
already
get
be
on top
done.
of what
Yeah.
anything we
You,
get on top of what we
you
have
could
now is just icing
satisfy
on the cake.
you could satisfy the base requirements for the mission that you are currently on. It is simply
Yeah,
the
so
story,
time's not really-
the story / plot hooks that are keeping you here now.
Yeah.
We want the bonus XP.
Right, or the bonus XP is what's keeping you here.
Or the secondary mission that a really hot lady
Yeah.
is going to give me, and maybe I can get her in her pants later.
Right, sure.
Oh God.
The front
so
desk
how do
lady is
we-
actually a 10 out of 10. I forgot to mention.
How do we kill the rest of the evening then?
Well, I think that there's not really a whole lot of activity that goes on beyond
You hear a taxi horn outside.
beyond the fact that I think Boomer has some information for you, and when that would be appropriate to bring up, if that would be brought up tonight.
Well,
That's Boomer's prerogative.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, if Boomer is like, you go out to get ice from the non-working ice machine in this building, or something, and Boomer catches you, because I assume, Boomer, you wouldn't just be like, oh yeah, by the way, I looked into that thing, Oscar, and yeah.
The thing that you told me quietly about.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't think Boomer would be that crass.
Yeah, so what I'm asking is, it doesn't seem like anyone's really itching to go hit this power plant tonight, and it seems like the consensus is that we wait at least until morning to go try, like, either actually getting a contract or getting a contract just in name to cover ourselves.
Mhm.
I was thinking just doing reconnaissance on the power plant, maybe not trying to get inside, but seeing what it looks like.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's
Always-
totally something you could do.
Something-
No one's probably going to arrest you for driving around the highway.
Yeah, that's all I want to do is just see where the checkpoints are and what the fence line looks like.
And honestly, Boomer has more tech stuff he needs to do.
Right. You absolutely
So-
do.
So I'll
Sure.
just be out riding around with Wong, I guess.
No, I Oscar would totally go scope the place out. That's his deal.
I would give Oscar and Fortune the nav comp at that point. It's just like, Oscar, you know the drill. Here's this.
Don't get
Put
lost.
strap it in, put it in the back seat.
Yep. It's riding. It's got to be in the middle though. Just you got a little car seat for it now, and you just buckle it in, and
Safety first.
yeah, you don't want it flying through the windshield and killing someone. Cool. So you guys are gonna go do that, and then maybe after that, Boomer. I don't know, Boomer. How do you want to approach that information that you have? Are you just gonna hold it for a later date?
No, right now, what he's trying to do is trying to get a read on what Gogo's going to do, what Fortune's going to go do, have them actually split up, so that at some point Boomer can follow Oscar as he's giving him the nav comp again.
Sure.
Just be like, by
Yeah.
the way, I looked into that thing. I don't have a whole lot of information, but here's kind of the stepping stones.
Sure. So, like, maybe before we leave, you
Right.
just give me a quick rundown in the file.
Yeah, and I think that the new information that you have, Oscar, is you were previously unaware of the affiliation and the second individual.
Yeah. So I think Oscar actually thought that this family was involved with the side of the Shianabe.
I think you are correct. That's what you originally
Yeah.
thought.
Right. So this is extremely interesting information to Oscar, and perhaps he is even questioning how thorough they're going to be about this mission.
Right. So I assume, I mean, you have a mask on, so no expression, and you're also an insect, so no expression probably
no
comes
expression.
across. It's probably all pheromones, right?
There's just a gentle mist rising from his
that
shoulder.
Boomer can't detect. But yeah, you have that little piece of information
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I think so Oscar just says to Boomer, I appreciate you going out of your way to gather this information for me. Let me know if anything else comes up.
I'll be right back.
This information makes me leery of our current employer. I will leave it at that for now.
Right as Oscar turns to move away, Boomer just kind of reaches out and puts his hand on his shoulder. Just look, we're crewmates, so we do favors for each other. But if there's something more I can do to help, let me know. Because Lord knows if I need the help, I'm going to demand it of everyone.
If you can find out who the second individual was, I was only aware of one.
The male or the female?
The one who left.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Hey Jordan, I have something.
Yeah.
Is that accurate? Like, I need to ask you something in chat really quick.
Sure.
So I'm going to text you super quick.
Sure. Type it out. It's no problem.
Everybody grab a beer. Regroup.
Yeah, no, just type it out. I can. Is it going to
Sure.
affect your current RP?
I just want to make sure that I actually know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, that I'm
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So 1 sec.
We can take a break if we want. I think Devin had to step away anyway.
That might be a great time to take a break.
It's a little short on the VOD, but I don't care. It's 20 minutes. Somebody will watch 20 minutes of stuff.
Well, you can just edit that.
Yeah, it's no problem. It just requires extra work, but that's fine. Let's take a little break, maybe like 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how long it takes me to. Yeah, there you go. There's MRE. I didn't even see that picture. Yeah, depending on how long it takes you to ask me. I'm pretty sure I got this right. But,
not long at all. I just want to make sure that I'm
Yeah.
actually not feeding other players BS that
Sure. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so let's take a 10-minute break. We'll be back at like 7:55 Eastern Standard Time. A little bit more than 10 minutes.
Okey dokey.
Sure thing.